Oh, okay, let's do this meeting. Sorry, I'm just a little tired as it is 10:12 Saturday night. But hey, team meetings are essential, right? And I even have a funny math shirt on. Okay, so please go to the staff Google Classroom, scroll down to the staff meeting rolling agenda, and click there, and you will be here. Now, I know that many people watched the Edpuzzle video last time, but didn't everyone follow directions? Let's see. Well, I asked everyone to comment in the tutor tokens section. And thank you, Charity, for being the only one to do so. Anyone who does not do it this time will be benched for week 6. All right? Mark my words. You see this questions and comments section? That is for you, team. I filled out my section. All right? So find a question or comment that you can make, and I will give you opportunities throughout this little video here. All right, so the first thing we need to talk about is objective feedback. Uh-oh. Hold on. Objective, okay. Objective feedback we talked about last year, but for our newbies here, there is objective, oh my gosh, versus subjective. My dad just visited and he will not stop talking about objective versus subjective, because when people just talk about their feelings, he gets really upset. Not me. I don't really get really upset. But when it comes to feedback, now it's important that we are objective. That means we are talking about facts, numbers, data, not, oh, how did they do in the session today? They did good. I even had someone tell me that this week, and that is not what I ever want you to tell me. So let's talk about objective. Objective is based on numbers, facts, data. Subjective is opinion, and we don't want that. That will get us in trouble. So let's do a good example of objective feedback. Objective example. Raul earned Raul had 3 red problems this session, and we worked through all of them. By the end of the session, he was able to explain in his own words all 3 concepts correctly. I ended by giving him the following task to do for practice. Insert Khan Academy or IXL link, here. This is objective feedback. Okay, so we see Raul is a student. Well, he's actually a tutor in our program, but let's pretend he's a student who came into the session and he had 3 red problems. So that's good, because the student should have at least 3 problems in the organizer, and we all understand what red problems are. We worked through all of them. By the end of the session, he was able to explain in his own words all 3 concepts correctly. All right, and that should be see the organizer, right? It should be in the organizer. I ended up by giving him the following task to do for practice. And then, so yeah, we want a action item. This part is called action item. So after you did all that work with him, explained it, then you can say hey, now you can do this for practice. Maybe even in the session. If they do it in the session, oh, if this part happens in the session, have them paste every problem they do in the organizer, and that can be part of your objective feedback. Like this, your feedback could be during the practice, he earned 5 out of 5 correct. So now you really got it. Now no one can argue with you. Wow, Raul came in with 3 problems. You must know how to get him to come prepared. Wow, you answered all 3. He explained it in his own words. Then you gave him practice and he got 5 out of 5 right. We know objectively that was a good tutoring session versus, hey, how did Raul do in the tutoring session today? Oh, it was good. I don't really know anything, because your definition of good and my definition of good could be very different. But objectively, now we know. So why I invite you now, if you want to use your question, and you can, just like the organizer, you can question or comment in each one of these sections, but you have to do at least once, everybody. All right, so write your own example of objective feedback here. And this week in the organizer, give each one of your students objective feedback from weeks 1 through 4. Give them something good that they did and encourage them in something they can do to improve. All right, kind of like a nice informal progress report of the first part of this session. This way we don't have to do formal progress reports. Just make sure you do your objective feedback, or we'll have to change it to doing formal progress reports. Do you want that? Okay, now that brings me right next to management style. So I work at a school, CMIT Middle School, in which I am able to do my own thing, and I love it. I am trusted by the administration to just do what I do, get the results I get, and everyone's happy. And I am happy too, because I'm treated like an adult, like a professional. And I think it's the best because I've also worked in places that made me feel like a child, but not a child when I'm 30 something years old. That's not good. So when I gathered this team, or this team was gathered to me, I mean, I don't know how we all came together. But when I thought about the people that I wanted to be on the team, I thought I want the best people I can get so that I can trust you to do what you need to do. It's not McDonald's where we have to all be looking at each other all the time. Oh, I just saw what you did there and there and there. So I want to be able to trust you. And I feel that I can because I feel that you are all very capable, awesome people. And that's good. With that being said, we do have high school students on the team that have never actually been tutors before, and maybe even if you have, not in this program. So we do have to have this constant training. All right. So even though you guys are amazingly capable, in order for us to be a team that is working together, you just need to ask your questions. All right. And guess what? This is the same thing that my wife asks me to do as we run our team called the family. She's always saying, "Oh, why didn't you ask me?" Sometimes I don't ask and I just do I say, "Oh, I just did this." And she says, "No, no, no. There's all these details that I'm thinking about that you're not thinking about. And I really would have appreciated if you would have asked me." Well, in this capacity, I am my wife. Well, I'm just telling you there's a lot of details that I know that you don't know when you're in your tutoring session. So I just need you, and you guys have been doing a good job to keep asking me anytime you're not sure. Otherwise, the parent comes to me and complains, and we don't want to be anywhere near that. Okay, so I've made a little principle. Ask your questions always. All right, even if I look bothered, Jalen kept coming into my tutoring session like 4 or 5 times in one night, and I may have looked bothered, but on the inside, I was pleased. Shout out to Jalen for following that principle of AYQA, asking his questions always. All right. And for those of you that are not asking your questions always, if you find you have less sessions or, no sessions, it's all right. You always have a new opportunity to ask your questions always. Okay. And that is how we can grow as a team. So, just saying that. Sometimes the more you say something, the more will happen. I think you already knew that. And I think you already know this, but let's say it again so that we all make sure that we are all doing this exactly this way. Because more and more it's getting this way, but there are still some people doing some different things. Okay, so organizers. An organizer post should have the student's name, the topic of the assignment, a screenshot, a red question. After the red question, the notes from the tutor, whatever you all do, that should be screenshotted and put under the red question. And underneath that should be the student explaining what the notes are in their own words. And that's very important so you understand if they understand it. Like our Raul example up there. If the student only has yellow and green questions, then suggest a practice they can do from IXL or Khan Academy. If your student needs an IXL account, just let me know. I got the hookup from Mrs. Lennon Camp at my school. I can get you some IXL accounts. But anyway, they can do practice if they have yellow questions. Every problem they do, though, should go in the organizer. So you have that objective feedback. I did notice that this week some students were putting the questions in the yellow, but it was really a red question. And so we're getting better and better there at telling them where it should go. And then they are getting better at self-assessing. So, it's a process of improving. But once we get students that really know how to post in the organizer, then when we get new students, we're gonna have our senior students here help them, and then that'd be great. So really invest in the students you have right now. They'll be with us the whole school year that way, and they'll be able to help others. If the students only have green problems, that's been happening to me a lot, then have them help other students for tutor tokens. And then the students they're helping should follow the red problem process. And then if they're in the group with you, then you can just guide them, help that green student ask questions, speak slowly at a pace that the other student can actually write. The students like to just I did, but they need to learn to say things in a pace that the other student can actually follow. And it's just a great process for them to learn. Those are communication, they're, communication. So I just said all of that. And oh, hey, if you want to ask your questions right here, then ask the question right now, right here. Organizers, share a good example from your organizer experience during the first 4 weeks. I mean, I know that the organizer's been going better for me this time around, this first 4 weeks versus last school year. And I hope that's true for you. If it is, share a positive experience so we can all learn about, the good things that are happening with the organizer, and maybe encourage our students or our groups to do things that you've seen in yours. And the last thing for today, new students, any tutor or teacher to get a student to join at this halfway mark. Shout out to Miss Muñeca getting her grandson Aiden back in the program. Aiden's an amazing student. Okay. And it's not about the money, people. It's about the love, the support that we're offering these families. But hey, I will give you $5 added to your direct deposit for each student. You get that family of 4, that's $20 extra. So it's pizza right there. And get them to join, because they can join at half price. All right, we're halfway through, so we're not losing any money. Let them join at half price. So what would that mean? Well, just go to peertutorsofmaryland.com. Of course, my contact information is right here. My personal cell phone. You can see, no one's calling it. They can call it. They can text it. Send me an email. And that group study was 125 divided by 2. It's a 12.5 and a 50. 62.5. $62.50 for 8 sessions. Miss Muñeca is going to be upset with me for that, because she thinks that's too cheap. But hey, that's how much that they would have to pay. One-on-one study, 225 was that. It's like 100, then 12.5 again, 112.50 cents. Even if they wanted twice a week, that $1,000 goes down to $500. Everything half off everything, it must go. All right, so hopefully we can, and the last thing is I want to say is, it's called Peer Tutors of Maryland. Okay, this is important because the tutors are in Maryland, except for Miss Charity. She's in Indiana, I think, Kentucky. But the students can be from anywhere. As you can see, I'm into this capitalization right now. But hey, if we can get some students from other countries, then we can be Peer Tutors of Maryland International. So hey, let's really work on those other country students, all right, this week. And I look forward to a great week 5. I paid everyone that has submitted their direct deposit information, and that is the end of this video. I will see you on Monday if your session is on Monday, or Tuesday if your session is on Tuesday.